There's a storm across the valley. The clouds are rolling in. The afternoon is heavy on your shoulders. There's a truck out on the 4-lane, a mile or more away. The whining of his wheels just makes it colder.
Community Forum is sponsored by the Easton Grange 196 and a friend of Yardley Wood Rink and the Easton Lions Club.
Welcome to Community Forum. I'm Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, your host. Today is September 25th, 2024, and we have the honor and privilege of having #1 winner in our film festival, the ECAT Film Festival contest here. Some of the actors, not all of them, and some of the behind-the-scenes people too. But we have 4 people who participated directly in the making of the film Paranoia. So some of you in the viewing audience have seen that short film. So welcome. I'm going to start here with Paula. You have some comments to make.
Yes. So first of all, I would like to thank you for this amazing opportunity. And unfortunately, not many of us could have made it today, but I really want to thank each of our classmates and teammates that were able to put this amazing project together. Besides that, my name is Paula Talarico, and yeah.
My name is Abby Tunis, and I'm very excited to be here. I'm so happy that we got the opportunity to be here, and I'm happy that the people around me are here right now.
Hi, my name is Maren Alleman. I'm also super excited to be here with my friends.
My name is Anton Demora. I did sound for the film, and I'm very excited for this opportunity to talk about the film Paranoia.
Okay, so let's start with Paula. What was your role in this movie?
So my role was acting. I was the actress. And basically, my character was pretty particular. I was representing this girl that was supposed to be imaginary, and it was like in the head of the protagonist. And I was like representing this feeling of paranoia. And it was pretty interesting how the character develops throughout the story. And yeah, I feel it was very cool.
Okay, and so you really got into Paranoia.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All right. So I played a lot of parts. I played a small acting role. I wrote the script. I co-wrote the script with Lucas, he was also the co-writer, and I was also like unofficially the assistant director because I helped out with different scenes and how we wanted different things to go in the film, and I gave my creative decision. Yeah.
Okay, so you multitasked.
Yep. Oh, I also edited it too. I edited the film. We went through a lot with that process. It was a very long thing.
So you really were the producer. Yes.
Yeah.
And the screenwriter. Okay. And Marianne.
I also played a few parts in this. I helped with, around with the equipment. I was like the gaffer, right? Yeah. I was a gaffer, and I also played like a small role in his like imaginary vision that he was having. I also was assistant camera for the most part. I was like with the rack focusing, or helping the camera operator with building the camera cage and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you were more of a techie.
Yeah, you could say that, yes.
Okay, as well as an actress. Anton.
I did a large quantity of the sound for the film, except for the scenes in which I played. I believe my character was called Big Man, or The Man, and within that, it was one of the things where I was trying to put on this imposing caricature. Having a hard time with that word, but yeah, it was a very large part for me because it was one of the big acting roles. I also came up with the interrogation scene as well as that whole boardroom thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were a busy guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. This is, I'm throwing out to everybody. What was the most interesting thing that happened in the film as you played it out that you didn't expect?
Some guy started using the bathroom right next to the room we were in. And we could hear like banging. Having a hard time in there.
I think a part of the script that actually got portrayed in the actual film was the part where Jamie was strapped into the chair and Tony was like the big man, the man that was watching Jamie. Like for me, it was like one of the creepy parts of it. Like it stood out to me most. That part probably took long for it to like be filmed because we had to like psychologically get into Jamie's head. Like our teacher helped with that process of just filming him in that moment. And
Yeah, I was thinking at the same part where Jamie in the movie needs to like scream really loudly, like he doesn't know what's happening. And I feel like that moment was like really, really hard to record because as Abby mentioned, he had to get in like the character, like the feelings, and it was really hard. And yeah, so the teacher had to help him, and I thought it was like a really like particular moment, and yeah, very emotional for sure too. Yeah.
Did you expect that, or was that unexpected?
It was a little unexpected. It wasn't really planned as...
Like, it got to the point where most of us had to get out of the room to, like, him to fully get into the character. Like, only the major important people that needed to film it, needed to document it were there. And he actually got, like, the time to, like, take himself in and fully let out what he was told to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you recognized that he couldn't be distracted by people in the room, that he had to really concentrate on the paranoia, emotion of paranoia, in order to play the part properly. Anton, do you have something to add?
Originally, when the scene was being pitched, it was a lot more intense. Like, I was supposed to go over and, like, slap him. I was pitched as being an interrogation, but, you know, that stuff got cut, like, very quickly.
We have limitations to what we can portray in the shop. Like, we have stuff that's like, oh, that's a little bit too much, or that's a bit less. Like, we didn't expect it to actually be put into a festival. This was a project to us that we wanted to create. We had the work, we had it assigned to us to do. The invitation to the film festival was our teacher, because when he saw it, he thought that it would be great to put into the festival, which is...
So you didn't create the film for the festival. It was part of the Media Center instructors' homework, in a way.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Marianne, how about you? Did you find something that you didn't expect?
Yeah, that was precisely what they talked about. I loved the way Mr. Cross really got into Jamie's head. Like, he was whispering in his ear, like, what images or scenes that would affect him the most, asking him questions. How would you feel if this happened? And it triggered something in Jamie where he could finally let everything out, because at first he was just laughing, like he would start screaming and he would just like burst out laughing, like we could not do it. And Mr. Cross just started whispering in his ear.
And Mr. Cross is the Media Center visual art teacher, right? Yeah, and some months ago, I think it was last year, I did a tour with him. Actually sat around the table with him and Abby, who, not this Abby, another Abby, who was an intern here, and she was a student at Southeastern Regional, and I I didn't say that at the beginning. These students come from Southeastern Regional, so they're from different towns, and so it's a really interesting conglomeration of students and backgrounds and so forth. How do you think that contributes to the final film?
For me, I think it's more based on like the background you have, because for me, I like to portray stuff that I write based on things that I've witnessed, things that I've watched. Like if I've watched a movie before, there's probably going to be something in my script that is attached to that. And also getting like different opinions from everyone else, because during the writing process, everyone collabed with little things. It wasn't like just a single effort to make the script. It was more of a group effort, and if we agreed with what was happening or not.
So did you, Anton, did you feel that team spirit throughout the production of the film?
Yeah, like it was a big collaboration effort of many people. Like I of course inputted my own things from like my background. I mean, I grew up in Brockton, and I have been watching movies for a very long time. And one of my favorite directors is it's either the Coen brothers or Quentin Tarantino. I watched Kill Bill at a young age, and you know, it like stuck with me. It's like very solid writing, very good dialogue, and all that. And I'd have to say, like movies and like storytelling are one of the biggest things to me. I'm a very big fan of fiction, fantasy, and all that. So they know in anything that I write, there's always something going on that is out of the norm.
Great. So you are a creative genius?
I'd like to think so.
You know, when I think back, my son, who is a film producer and screenwriter, when he was a little kid, I mean, he was always watching the movies. And a few weeks ago, I came across a piece of newspaper from our local local town newspaper, and it was a roving reporter, and he was going around asking people, so what would you do? Where would you do? What would you do, and where would you go if to get out of the house? And this 10-year-old boy named Eric Olson, and his 10-year-old face photo was in the paper. What do you think his answer was? Where would he go? His answer was to the movies. And that's when movie theaters were very popular. Yeah. So, but in your time zone, all you have to do is turn on the TV, right?
Yeah.
And you can find, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or whatever, PBS Passport, another good one. Yeah. Okay, so what do you feel was the most important thing that you learned that you hadn't really learned before or thought about before after you made this film? Marianne?
I feel like as a group, we learned how to mature more and grow up, because like previous projects and even in this one at the beginning, we were really struggling with agreeing with each other, because all of us had so many ideas and we wanted to do each other's job a lot, you know what I mean? That it had to come to a point where, you know, we were all just like, okay, let's stop. We need to understand that we need to work as a team, not against each other. And the other half of the project, we were really growing and maturing and not overstepping our role. We really stayed in our role towards, you know.
So there was a little bit of respect there.
Yeah.
I totally agree with what you said. I feel like this project made us come all together and realize like the different roles too in a film. Like besides coming all together and like accepting each other role and not stepping on each other, I feel like we really learn how the movie, like the film industry works. Like there are all those roles that are like really interesting, and we also experimented like different like camera operator and then sound and then acting, and I feel like that really taught us a lot. And yeah, definitely.
And we also only had a week to film,
Yes.
to construct this whole entire thing and get it done. So there was underlying panic into that, like, oh, we only have 1 week to do this. Was it only 1 week? Yeah.
We got a bit of an extended time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still in that like single time chunk that we had to get all of this done, and that meant we really had to like grow more as a group and fully focus on what we were doing rather than playing around like it was like something we could do anytime. Yeah.
So it made you really focus and concentrate,
Yes, definitely.
and probably mature is the right word. You were grown-ups in that as a team, and maybe similar to the real world of filmmaking.
Yes, very similar.
So, do any of you see yourselves in the future pursuing a career in film?
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yes.
All four of you?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
directing.
And
I find myself.
to whom do you attribute that? Mr. Cross, has he been encouraging and spurred your interest? And if things come up in class that you hadn't encountered?
Mr. Cross is always ready to help each one of us, and like he always supports us in every single thing we want to do in life, and he also gives us like a lot of opportunities to like go forward, and definitely every single time, because my biggest dream is to become an actress and keep acting, and every single time I try to talk to him about like my feelings on acting, he really listens to me and really tries to like help me with everything. And also, we were talking about Jamie before. It really helps you like growing. So I really love that about him.
Yeah.
He's a great teacher for
So,
that.
so Anton, does he give you challenges? Does that help you grow in the film?
It helps me grow, but yeah, he's been an amazing help. But the real person I'd attribute like all of this to would have my apologies, would have to be my father. Like, of course, Cross is there to help, support me in this thing. But the thing that like really got me going, that supported, was my father, because much like my father, I'm a big fan of movies. Of course, I haven't watched nearly as many movies as him, but I'm trying to fix that.
So he was probably the biggest influence over the most years.
Over the most years.
Right, since you were a little kid.
Mainly all of them. He's been an influence, as being my father and all.
So is he encouraging you to pursue this as a career?
Yeah, most definitely.
Right.
Yeah, I could say the same thing about my mom. Like, she's always there, ready to help me too, and she gives me a lot of support. And also about talking about movies, she's like always there, like, oh, you need to know about this movie, you should watch this movie, because like it's also part of the culture, and like the movie industry is like really important to obviously know like directors and then actors, and just know like the classics movie. And yeah.
So Paola, I know that you come from Italy.
Yes.
You have a charming slight accent, but your English is so incredible.
Thank you.
Because I remember coming once a week, having conversations with you and your mother in that English class that you both sat in on. It's just remarkable. Your capacity for the language is extraordinary.
Thank you.
And you should. And so I'm thinking, have you ever watched Sophia Loren?
I did. I mean, I know her, but I didn't get the chance to like watch many movies with her, but I do know her.
Okay, she was a wonderful actress.
Yes.
And very accomplished, and yeah. Okay, and so how about you, Marianne? Are you thinking about a career in film?
I cannot imagine myself doing any other job that's not in film. I have to do this. So
Which part of film? I mean, the industry is huge. I mean, you can be everything from a line producer to a executive producer to a screenwriter to a cinematographer, you know.
Yeah, well, my top one is being an actress, even though I don't act as much as I should because I'm very shy. But I love acting, like, you know. But also my second would be like directing or camera operator, because
You know what's interesting? There are actors who are very, very shy, but acting allows them not to be. It allows them to express themselves in ways that they really cannot do on a personal level. And I know many of them say that. Yeah.
When I've acted in a couple of my classmates' projects, I do kind of like forget, you know, like that there are people watching me sometimes, and then I just like let it all out and I start like crying, you know, if I need to cry. So yeah, I can relate to that.
Okay. Now we're gonna the film that you did was about 2.5 minutes, I think, long. Yeah.
About, yeah.
Yeah. It's not, you know, because we don't want long movies.
Yeah.
And did you find that it was more difficult to make such a compact film?
I wouldn't say it was that hard because we've worked with writing short scripts before, and like our teachers have trained us basically to, if we're given something, we can make it work to get the job done. Yeah.
In a short period of time.
In a short period, yeah.
Okay, so Abby, I forgot to ask you, do you think about being in the film industry?
100%. I love it
100%.
so much.
We have 100% here,
Yes.
4 times.
Yes.
Definitely.
And have you thought about what part of the film industry would interest you most?
I would say mostly directing or writing a script that would be given out for someone to create, because it really inspires me the most to write something and see it be made and see how people take a look at it and review it, like if they think what I did was right, if they think I did was wrong. It's, yeah, I didn't grow up watching movies. I didn't have that like perspective on it. I started watching movies when I was probably like 13, so I'm basing all of my stuff off of very few things, but I try to put myself out there and watch more stuff so I can put it into a script.
Right, because writing a script is quite different from writing prose, writing a novel, say, or a short story, because you have to write in the settings. It's not all dialogue, is it?
Yep.
No, you have to write in, you know, where you are, what the lighting is, and
It's more showing, not telling. That's what I've been told multiple times, to show in the script rather than tell what's happening.
exactly, so that people can figure it out for themselves, the viewers, right? Yeah. Okay, and any other screenwriters here?
We've written a script after Paranoia, or during it, I think. We wrote like a huge script.
It's like 40 pages
40
long.
pages, yep. Yeah.
23 minutes long?
40 pages.
Yeah, we try to make like a short film, like 10 minutes, but like it kept going from there. We got in more ideas. It was like a work. We haven't gone into it for a while, but yeah.
It's gonna be more difficult to film it with like you going on co-op and me being in co-op. So,
So what do you think? Did you find it easier to lengthen the movie?
It fit our creative view more than the length. While we were making it, for me, I thought more of the quality of it rather than how long it was going to be. And that was mainly what I was focusing on, if the story was going the right path, if there were underlying things that weren't being fully told, and yeah.
Good. So Anton, how do you feel about that? Have you collaborated with somebody the way Abby and Marianne have?
Not yet, really, but I really hope to. Kind of get my ideas out there because I've got a lot of them.
Have you written them down?
So I'm in like a crap ton of notebooks and stuff over the years. I've been just like writing stuff. But yeah, I haven't like printed out a script yet, but I still need to be working on that for my final project, which I hope is good.
Okay, now this final project is one that you do for the class, right?
That I do for the class. This is going to be straight from the can.
Okay, and are there time limitations?
Time limitations, I think I have from now to the end of the year to write it, but to actually shoot the thing, I think I only got like a week or two.
And how long is what are the time limits on the film itself?
Film itself, it's got to be, I think, around like a 10-minute film or like around that.
Yeah. We all get, depending on if we're doing co-op or not, if we're not doing co-op, we all get assigned a senior project where we have to portray like a film. We could make a song, we could make a script, we could do any of those things and make that our final thing for the final year of high school. But if you're on co-op, I'm pretty sure what we have to make is like a presentation, like talking about our experience in it.
We do.
Yeah, that's what.
I did not know that.
Are there any?
Wow.
Are there any co-ops where you get a chance to come to a place that is involved with the film industry?
Yeah.
How about you, Anton? Are you going to be doing it? Are you graduating?
I'll be graduating soon. Yeah, soon. I'm going to get that high school diploma, and then I'll probably try to go to a trade school to harness my filmmaking craft.
Okay. Have you got any in mind?
I do. One I really have in mind is Maine Media. I'll give you 3 guesses where that is. The first 2 don't count.
Okay. What about Emerson?
Emerson? I've been getting some emails about him. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, Emerson is one of the best for technical as well as film itself. Yeah, and you have a lot of people that have gone to Emerson and done very well. And networking is so important in the business.
Yeah.
So if you go to a place like Emerson, the people that you're there for 4 years with, wherever they go, you're going to be able to follow them and network with them, and they're going to be able to help you. You help each other in the progress of your careers. So sometimes it's important to think about that, because it's a struggle. There's so many people and so many creative, wonderful people who don't make it and can't persist. Yeah. So it's important to remember that. Never give up. Never give up on your dream. Keep going. And find the people that can help you the most, people you can trust. Because like in any industry, there are people who try to exploit other people, and you want kind, good, helpful people to surround yourself with. So anyway, our time is almost up. I want to thank Southeastern Regional. I want to thank Mr. Cross for producing these wonderful thespians, and I hope that in the future I'm going to be able to call back and say, oh, Anton, you are a cinematographer, or you are a film producer. Marianne, you're writing scripts, and you, Abby, are directing, and Paula, you are a famous actress, not just in America, but in Italy. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
And this is Community Forum, and your host, Priscilla Almquist-Olsen, wishing you well. Thank you for watching.